Welcome in, Big Blue Nation, to another episode of the Cats Talk podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Johnston, joined by my co-host, as always, Jacob Boyers. Jacob, Cats have found a way to win 4 SEC games in a row for the first time in the Mark Pope era. They obviously defeated Texas 85-80 on Wednesday night, but Jake couldn't escape more injury news and more bad news in total. Even when this team starts getting everything going, everything starts clicking, and you're finally starting to see a positive outlook on the rest of the season, you get another injury news like we did on Cam Williams. Looks like he's out for the season. I guess they said it could be a fracture as well, that, maybe towards March he could be back. But still, devastating news for this Cats, who really started to find themselves in a little bit of a role.
Yeah, it's one of these weird episodes where we're gonna talk about a win, but then obviously you gotta talk about the bigger picture again. But I will say, unrelated, it's kind of nice to do this 4 times in a row, Cam, coming off a win against Power 4 competition.
Life is sweet.
I mean, if you told me before you're not going to have Jaland Lowe and JQ for pretty much all of SEC play, and you're going to be 4-2, I think you sign up for that. So yeah, I mean, disappointing to hear about Cam. Fingers crossed it is a fracture and you can have him ready to go in a 8 weeks or whatever, right as you get ready to play the tournament. But I'm with you. That's not really what I'm expecting. But in the same boat I've been in for weeks now. I don't care how they win these games, just go and win them. And Texas threw some punches there, especially in the second half at times, but the Cats continued to answer with Colin Chandler kind of being the biggest piece of that, and it was a good win last night.
Jake, and speaking of Colin Chandler, let's just go ahead and get started there. I sent you a picture midway through the game when Colin hadn't even done most of his scoring yet of him and Michael Jordan together. It was his flu game.
I didn't expect to. I didn't have that on my bingo card for the year. I got to be honest.
You did not have that on your bingo card of me sending you Michael Jordan and Colin Chandler together. But man, was it great to see? And something, we've talked about continuously, it feels like on every podcast, is just between those guards, you just have to have, now with the Cam Williams injury, you need all 3 of them to step up game by game.
Yep.
And Colin really did take his opportunity and stepped up in this game. He had 18 points, led the team in rebounds with 7 as well, 2 steals. Anything and everything that Colin Chandler could have given you in this game, he gave you. You're starting to see him stack together games and performances in a row. Is this something that we saw towards the end of last season that he can keep building on, or do you think this might be a little bit of fool's gold?
I don't necessarily think it's fool's gold because, like you mentioned, we've seen him play well. I don't know, man. He's a weird player. He's somebody that obviously really struggled to begin last season, and we kind of all chalked that up to just he hadn't played basketball in forever. And then by March, he turned it on and was a really valuable piece to that team a year ago. And then we expect this big jump. He plays pretty well in the preseason games, plays well against that lower tier competition. And then he goes obviously through the spell of, us talking about potentially being unplayable and only getting a handful of minutes against Missouri. I just think this might be the Colin Chandler experience. I don't know if he goes through mental stretches where he doesn't have the confidence, because it did seem like that even through the times this year where he wasn't playing well. It felt like he had zero confidence in his shot, felt like he had zero confidence just in his ability to be on the floor, and then you see him kind of come back into that role. So, I'm knocking on wood. I hope this continues throughout the year because, like you mentioned, especially with Cam out, this is what we're going to have to get out of him.
Jake, can I make a baseball comparison here with you with what Colin Chandler reminds me of?
Sure.
As you and I, both Reds fans, of course, reminds me of Jay Bruce. Jay Bruce would go through these stretches, man, where he was the hottest hitter in the MLB. And then he'd go through stretches where you're like, oh my God, we can't play this guy. He's a strikeout walking. That's what we're getting kind of with Colin Chandler. You go that whole, first 6 to 7 games of the season where he's just tearing it up. You're thinking he's taking that Mark Pope year 2 jump. And then everything else just goes sideways for the next 7 games. And these past 2, and even 3 games, he's been terrific on the offensive side and the defensive side. And really, I mean, he's starting to get to the point now where, I mean, I think he's back to your best shooter and the guy who, if you're drawing up a play from 3, he's definitely the one you want taking that.
Yeah, he's back to shooting the ball with confidence. I mean, we saw him shoot obviously really well to start the season, and I think, we all kind of said we expect him to be a good shooter, but the guy that's shooting 50% from 3 on, his first 30 attempts or something, that probably wasn't going to be sustainable. But, he's right back there. And then another guy that we talked a lot about last episode and continuing. How about the fact in the last 4 games, Denzel Aberdeen's averaging over 18 points? Like, you're starting to really see these guys click, and I think that's what's so devastating about the Cam Williams news. You alluded to it to start. Like, you're really starting to see a lot of guys play well, and you're starting to see the blueprint of kind of how this team could be good. And, it took kind of roles to be defined really based on injuries, but like everybody was kind of getting in their role. You're seeing a lot better things from Denzel. Ortega's being the player that we expected him to be, getting close to that SEC player of the year preseason hype. And then everything just kind of gets derailed with a Cam Williams broken foot. But so far, knock on wood, with Lowe out and JQ out, like other guys have stepped up and kind of answered the bell. So now you're going to have to figure out who's going to answer the bell for Cam Williams. Is it going to be you play a lot of 3 guards? I think that's probably what they're going to do, but to an extent, we saw that kind of a little earlier, right before SEC play, and I don't think any of us really loved it. But you're probably going to have to do a lot of that. Will it be Trent Noah? Will it be Braden Hawthorne? Will they add somebody? Like, there's a lot of ifs, but somebody's going to have to step up and give you solid minutes there at the 4.
Yeah, and Jake, let's table that for a little bit later, where we can get into our own individual thoughts on what we want to do with this Cam Williams injury going forward. I just kind of want to talk about what you mentioned with Denzel Aberdeen. I think this was probably his worst game that he's played in the last 5, and this is a game where he was still pretty efficient from the floor, 4 of 10, 2 of 5 from 3, 9 of 12 from the free throw line, 19 points. I mean, if you're telling me this is the worst version that we get from Denzel Aberdeen going forward, please sign me up, because this is I'm cool with this one. This if 19 points on 40% shooting and 40 from 3 is the worst version we get of him, you can sign me up for that, because I think this is he's still, even in this one, I think there were parts where he took, I don't want to say unneeded shots, but ones outside of the flow of the offense. He's still getting majority of his shot attempts and his shot creations in the flow of the offense, and is still looking to try and facilitate for other guys, which is something I don't think we could say going into the season. And especially like right now, he's up to 39% 3-point shooting on the year. Like, he's slowly but surely gotten that 3-point shot to quite a deadly range. I mean, him and Colin Chandler's at 42% and Denzel Aberdeen's at 39%. If you can have that from 2 of your guards going forward, especially with the volume that they're starting to shoot from behind the 3-point line, with the driving that Ortega has, I think it really, like you mentioned, it highlights how much this Cam Williams injury sucks, because you're starting to find that blueprint. But I think this 3-guard set that we have right now can really start and continue to develop to get better.
Yeah, if this is the worst game you're going to get from Denzel for the rest of SEC play, I mean, where do I sign? Find me the X. I'll put my name on there right now. I mean, based on where we were 20 days ago on January 2nd after the Alabama game with Denzel to, like I said, a guy that's averaging 18 and a half points in his last 4, like, he's not forcing a ton of bad shots. You alluded to a couple outside of the offense, but like, it's nothing like we saw really earlier in the year. Every game, it feels like he grows more and more into kind of that point guard role that, he didn't have to play, obviously, at Florida. And, he expected to play very seldom here for just a few minutes here and there as the backup. And he's really starting to thrive and really kind of all these guys are, I mean, they're getting it done in a lot of different ways. Obviously, this game was extremely nice that you weren't falling behind and having to climb out of a hole. But I know Texas scored 80. They're averaging 86 something on the season, so you're still pretty strong defensively. You were able to score 85 in this one. I just think this team, again, we keep coming back to I don't think they're gonna be this Final Four contender like that we thought at the beginning of the year, but I think they can find ways to win games and win. Obviously, I'm to the point where I think they're going to make the tournament. We'll see how much the injury derails them, but you're really starting to just kind of see this team win games different ways. And, it's a lot different than what we talked about after Missouri, talking about bad teams find new ways to lose games. Yep. Now they're kind of figuring out a way, whether it's a full court pass at the buzzer to beat LSU or a steal to take your first lead at Tennessee and with 30 seconds to go, or a game like this where it just kind of goes back and forth. I don't know if you had the feeling. I was watching this and I started to have flashbacks towards that Missouri game. I still feel like we kind of took the air out of the ball a little bit there down the stretch.
Kind of had the same, the North Carolina vibes were the ones that I was getting.
I was about to lose my mind, and I was getting ready to text you about how frustrated I was, but they made just enough plays down the stretch, and it's not something really before LSU we'd seen this team do. It was down the stretch they would make errors. We still had another long scoring field goal drought to kind of end the game, but yeah, they're now finding ways to win games rather than finding ways to lose them.
Yeah, I mean, no field goals the last 5 minutes and 48 seconds. I think that's I think usually you lose those games. I think that's safe to say. But I mean, in this game, this is something I hadn't seen from this team so far this season. The ability to get to the line in this game, I think, was terrific. And I think Sean Miller alluded to it a little bit in his post-game press conference. Texas just fouls a lot as well. Yeah. So, I mean, we were helped out by a lot of good fouls that were, honestly, there was a good amount that were 20 to 30 feet away from the basket that helped us out. But 30 to 35 from the free throw line, you shoot 86% on 35 free throws. You're going to start off in a pretty good spot. And even, a stretch of 6 minutes without a field goal the last 6 minutes didn't hurt this team enough to lose this game. And you mentioned bad teams find new ways to lose games, and this team's finding ways to win games. And right now, I mean, that was without I don't think you'd consider this a good Otega Owe performance, what he did on Wednesday night. 8 of 20. I mean, first off, this still goes back to my thing of Otega last year. Even with him being the best player on the team this year, I still don't want him taking 20 shots. That's still too many for me, even with this offense that we have going now. 0 for 4 from 3, only 3 rebounds. He did have 1 pick six, which, Jake, we got to find some sort of DraftKings, FanDuel, something that we can put a pick six bet on Otega, because it's cash in almost every game right now. If you can sign up for a 5-point win against a team that I think Texas is right firmly on that bubble line of the NCAA tournament, and if you can find a way to your best player not have their best game, or really not even a very good game, and still win by 5, I think that's a good sign for things to come.
Yeah, I agree with you in the fact of I don't think this was obviously Otega's best game, but I also don't think he played bad by any stretch. There might have been a couple shots I felt like he took that you probably wish he wouldn't have. Back to Denzel, man, it's everything offensively. I feel like that he's doing right now is kind of working. I mean, you mentioned he's shooting the 3 at 39% right now on the season.
Playing with pace too. That's something we hadn't seen early too.
He's playing with pace. He's doing a good job in the half court of kind of getting to the spot where he wants to and finding ways to initiate fouls. I mean, we talked about it after Tennessee, those pump fakes on the perimeter and then getting to that little floater or mid-range pull-up, and it was money down the stretch. Last night he was doing it, did it in a huge spot, fakes on the 3, gets into right outside the lane, pump fakes, gets the big man in the air and gets to the free throw line. Like, that's a guy that's confident with the ball in his hand to go out there and shoot free throws with the game on the line. I know he missed one or whatever once he made it a 4-point game, but
They missed 3 down the stretch as somebody who was holding a ticket of -6.5. I'm a little
Yeah.
upset about it, but
Yeah, as a UK fan though, they came at times where I don't really think it mattered all that much, but like I love kind of seeing that confidence from him, right? Like I don't need the confidence that we saw at Alabama where Alabama makes a three and he pulls a 30-footer 5 seconds into the shot clock. Like I don't need that confidence, but the confidence of being able to get to my spot, I know I can get fouled. And I am confident that I'm going to go up there and knock down the free throws as an 80% free throw shooter. I think that's the kind of confidence you want to see him play with. And it's good to see him just building off of that momentum. And again, no player have I had a bigger swing with, but the fact that like
it's
I
been
do.
so wild. And he's continuing it too.
Yeah. But like I feel confident with him now if it's a, 30 seconds left in the game and you need a bucket to either almost ice it or you're even trailing, like I feel really confident with the ball in his hands at that spot. And that is so drastic from where we were just 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think the only thing we were confident on of Denzel Aberdeen before his last 3 weeks were we were confident that we wanted him on the bench. I think that might have been the only thing.
Or that he was going to have 2 of the worst airball threes you've ever seen in your entire life.
Yeah, and it's been what? Has it been 2 full games without an airball? I don't remember one against Tennessee.
He didn't have one against Tennessee. Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's what it is. He doesn't see one not hit any part of the rim, and he's just all of a sudden he's got this confidence that he can play at an elite level like he has been these past couple of weeks. Jake, obviously you kind of alluded to it. We're going to have to figure out ways in which to get around this Cam Williams injury. As a guy who's starting to play a lot of minutes and kind of wore a lot of hats for this team, playing the 3 and playing the 4, being probably I would say their go-to spot-up shooter. Yeah. I don't know if, he's necessarily delivered on that promise yet, but, I mean, where I have I know what I want this team to do. Yeah. What do you want this team to do?
Well, like, that's the thing. It's so hard to kind of make this decision, right? There's the reports that, the G League player Dink Pete or whatever, however you say it, like he's potentially interested in coming to Kentucky. In a week or so, we'll know kind of what the courts rule with the NCAA or with the Alabama with their player. So like you really got to kind of probably wait a week to see like if that's a realistic avenue for the entire season. I mean, if you tell me he's interested and he's going to be able to get eligible, I mean, that's probably my number one choice just because, like, you've seen that guy be pretty good in an NBA G League. So I would think he could come in here and, be an average college basketball player. Now, again, that's somebody that's never worked with Mark Pope, and he's going to be probably pretty far behind. So I don't know. It's a really tough choice. And then you look at it, what Trent Noah gives you, and I don't think it's anything that, like, we're ecstatic about or, excited for. No offense to the guy. I had no idea why he was at the scores table with 4 minutes to go last night. That was another one I was kind of pulling my hair out. I was about to text you because I saw a white guy sitting there and I was like, that doesn't look like Yelovich. He looks a little shorter. What in the world's going on here? And then you got like the Braden Hawthorne avenue, and me and you, we don't go to practice. We haven't watched practice. I've never seen Braden Hawthorne play in this kind of style, against this competition. Is he ready? Is he not? I mean, this is where we're just, I think, going to have to lean on the coaching staff to make that decision. I mean, if you're looking at it and you think Hawthorne can help this team and he's an upgrade from Trent Noah and you were worried about, the red shirt, I would throw that out the window. And I think at this point, whoever you think the best option is, whether it's Dink, Hawthorne, I think you got to go with one of those avenues. Unless you think both of them are just behind Trent Noah, which I think would say a lot more about Hawthorne and Dink.
Yeah, if I had to rate the likelihoods of what I think is going to happen, unfortunately, I think Trent just sliding into that role is probably the most likely.
I
Which
agree with you.
I want to say that it's an asinine thing to do. It really is. Like Trent showed you in that first minute of action that he played against Texas, every reason he should not be on the floor. He got immediately out leveraged for a rebound, committed a foul. On the very next possession, he committed a foul, an offensive foul, and obviously led to a turnover. He's just, it's not, I just don't know how else to say it. He's just not an SEC body at this point. He really, with his quickness that he has, his ability to not take shots that he should, like that is why he's out there. And for some reason, he is still consistently hesitant to shoot those threes. I think that's the most likely. That comes in at number 3 on my pecking order of
real
what
quick,
I personally
real
want.
quick before you give your other two, just back to Trent. I don't want to crush the kid, but like even back to last year, I mean, outside of 2 games against Tennessee, like it never really fully clicked, right? We talked about the games where he was out there and didn't record stats. I mean, if it wasn't for those 2 moments where, you know, he makes 4 threes against Tennessee twice, like I don't even think a lot of our fan base would even be entertaining it. It's just people remember those 2 games and think that we can find ways to get that out of him consistently. But
Yeah, and Jake, I mean, the reason why our fan base wants him to play, I think, is pretty obvious. The same reason they wanted Travis Perry to play last year as well. It's the reason why Jasper Johnson and Malachi Moreno, obviously theirs to a different extent. It's the reason why they get a big, loud pop when they get checked in to Rupp Arena. It's because he's from Kentucky. I mean, that's the reason that these fans want him to play that much. It's dead last on my options of what I want to do. I don't think he has a place to play even with Cam's injury. I really don't.
yeah,
I don't think they're likely to burn Braden's red shirt either. I think they've went this far without even introducing him into a game atmosphere. I don't think they're going to do it now. And I mean, I saw that I think it was Jacob Polachek with KSR interviewed Dink Payton. He said the people that he was talking to said it was a 95% chance that he'd get cleared by the NCAA to play. So what that means, whether they're looking at him to play this year for Kentucky or next year for Kentucky, I'm not sure. But I mean, this is a guy, if you want to talk about just like fitting the Cam Williams mold, 6'8", so you're looking at the same body type. I mean, right now in the G League, he's averaging 18.8 points per game, 7 boards. Not shooting the ball too well, only 30% from 3, but I mean, shot the ball at 40% from 3 last year. So if you're telling me of my options, which ones they are, I think going out and getting a guy like Dink Pate, even though the name is quite literally ridiculous. Jake, I vote, and you know this is probably not the best time to do it since it is Miss Kate's birthday. But if you and Miss Kate are going to have another child, I want to put the name Dink out there as an option.
I'm out on that one. I don't know how Kate would feel about it. I know how I feel about it. I'm out. I'll tell you off air if we ever have a boy what the name will be, because I think it would literally make your head explode.
I don't know if I want to hear it, but yeah, I'm interested. Jake,
you know what? Let's just do it on air. Let's
Jake,
tell the people.
Breaking news, real quick. Breaking news: the Cats have fallen to the Tennessee Volunteers. The Lady Cats, 60-58, couldn't get a bucket down the stretch. They had 21 turnovers in that game, Jake. So the Lady Cats unfortunately fell, but go ahead if you're wanting to tell me what Baby Boyer's number 3 the name is going to be. I'm all ears.
There's no plans for a Baby Boyer's number 3, so let's clear that. Once I say it, I know your reaction, and it's not necessarily because of this person, but there were 2 names we liked, and then I've said they go together, and they are also the name of a former recent UK basketball player. It just so happens.
I'm very intrigued.
We both love the name Reed, and we like the name Shepherd as a middle name. I don't think I could call my kid Reed Shepherd Boyers, I'm going to be honest. But Hey, up
Yeah.
until a little while ago, about this time a year ago, it was a no-brainer.
I'm
And
going to
then
be honest with you,
we
Jake.
got the Arkansas shirt, and that I think that put a little damper on it. But yeah, Kate said we couldn't go with Reed Shepherd. She liked both the name Reed and Shepherd, and we could, but she thought together it would be a little different.
Yeah, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I think I personally prefer Dink Pate Boyers over Reed
I'm
Shepherd
not going
Boyers.
Dink
But
Pate.
I don't think either option is great, but I think that's where we're at right now with the Cats and trying to figure out like what to do with Cam Williams. I mean, Jake, has anybody been bit by the injury bug more than the Cats have since
No.
Pope's gotten here? I mean, it's ridiculous, especially like obviously we think about this year being more injury prone just because we're in this year. But even like going back to last year, you had Carr dealing with his back injuries off and on. Obviously, Lamont going through the shoulder stuff the entire season. Jackson goes out for a couple games, comes back, gets his wrist re-injured. He's done for the season. Obviously, Kerr just gone for the season after the Gonzaga game. I mean, dude, what is going on here, man? I didn't in the Cam play, it was right after he hit some free throws. He's just jogging back on defense. Like nothing of this is like I don't know what's going on, man.
They're all like, for the most part, pretty fluky. Like,
yeah,
just about everyone. I mean, Jackson hurts his wrist in practice, like just on like kind of a fluke play. Jaland Lowe dives for a basketball and dislocates his shoulder. You see Kirk Creesa hustling back and breaks his foot. Cam last night just running up the floor. Like, it is the most unlucky injuries. And Kentucky went a long time in the early Calipari years with practically no injuries. We pretty much had 5 or 6 guys on our team that would play, and luckily none of them got hurt. So I guess we're just making up for all that time because it's unbelievable. There's a lot of people online complaining about the training staff. Like, I don't think it's anything training related. Like,
I mean, you can't train for stuff like this to happen.
They're all just like freak injuries, and it's a shame. I mean, I don't know what the plan is. I mean, I think this is just more to our, frustrating sports fandom, right? Whether it's Joe Burrow with the Bengals getting hurt, Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo missing time for the Reds, along with whoever else. Matt McClain has this great rookie year. The next year he's out for the year with injuries. Like, I think our misery with these teams losing and being disappointing has now it's all come full circle of just injuries and pain.
So what you're saying is like you've brought it upon the Kentucky Wildcats. Like it's your personal bad luck has brought this injury.
I don't know where you're going with that. No, I think it's
basically what I heard there.
Yeah, I don't know if I did something in a past life, man, or what. Because some of I think the only people that probably have it worse than us is like Cleveland fans. But hell, they made an ALDS or CS just 2 years ago. So
yeah, and, their basketball team just won the title not too long ago. So I mean, they got some things going for them.
Yeah,
we might have. I think we might have it worse.
Somebody's got to have it worse. Arizona. I
got one for you. How about just living in the city of Chicago? That's enough to. And
if you can live like an hour outside of Chicago, it's not bad.
No, it's all still the same. Because then you just say you're from Chicago, and Chicago's the worst. But okay, Jake. Now, I do want to hear your hierarchy of like what you want the staff to do. I know you said that Trent Noah's last on the options.
Yeah.
But let's just say like that's what they're rolling with. Whose minutes do you want to see increase to try and fill that role of Cam Williams? Do you want him to try and run that 3-guard role more? Do you want to see Jasper come off the bench a little earlier? What is your like go-to situation if they don't add anybody and if they don't burn Braden's red shirt?
Yeah. So I am with you on I think that's the most likely scenario.
Yeah.
What I can't see is it becoming Trent Noah playing 20 plus minutes. I mean, if you tell me you're doing that role and he's going to play 5 to 8, sparingly, okay, like we can try to survive those minutes, so to speak. So, I mean, you don't really have another hybrid like Cam that can play the 3 and the 4. So I think it puts you in a tough spot. I think you kind of go back to starting Colin. I mean, he's obviously thrived off the bench, so you wonder, like, will that? I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. Like, maybe Colin's just a guy that's better coming off the bench for whatever reason. Because
Yeah.
since he got moved to that role, that's when it seems like it really clicked. Well, I think you're going to have to put him back in there. I do think this could open it up to, as you mentioned, Jasper getting more time. We saw them play that kind of 4-guard lineup, and I'm not saying that, but you could play, Jasper with a combination of Chandler, Aberdeen, and Owe, more, and then have either Mo or Yelovich at the 4, and then one of your 5s. So, like, that's what, like, I would do, is I would lean to just ramping all those guards minutes up, but, like, you're also putting yourself in a really tough spot, man. I mean, if Mo or Yelovich picks up some early fouls, like, where do you go from there when throughout the game you're probably going to have to play Trent a lot at the 4? So I don't know. But, like, I also,
my biggest thing with, like, Trent can't play the 4 regardless is the
true.
biggest problem that I have. Like, I would genuinely rather see a lineup in which Ortega is out there playing the 4, or
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, same thing with Hawthorne. Like, I don't think that's what I think kills you so much with Cam, is that he does have that versatility. Even though we prefer him at the 3, like, you can get by and find roles in a particular game, and the way something's flowing, like, you have that versatility to play him at the 3 or the 4. Whereas now I don't think you have a guy that can play that kind of hybrid spot. You either have 3s and you have 4s, and they got to go.
Yeah, and the only thing I can think of that, and this is, like, you tell me what you think about this. This is me just trying to throw something at the wall and see if it sticks. What if it's something just like playing Mo at the 3 on the defensive side of the ball, but then when you come up, have Yelovich playing more of the 3? I know that's a big, lanky 3 to be running out there.
I don't know.
And I know he doesn't offer that necessarily that quickness side to side that Cam Williams does, but really, and Jake, that's the part that really, really sucks about this, is I was going to text you. There was 2 or 3 times in this game where Cam Williams attacked the basket, and that was something that we had talked about and how much we were looking forward to seeing him grow in that aspect. I mean, that's the only thing that I can kind of think of that, without running 3 guards out there full time, is the only thing that you can kind of get by with. But even that, I don't love it. But
I gotta say, Cam, there's not much you say that, like, I absolutely hate. That was probably the most hated thing that I've ever heard come out of your mouth.
Yeah, I don't know what the other
honestly,
option.
I don't care who our options are. I don't think I ever want to see Diabate, Yelovich, and either Marino or Garrison on the floor together.
Okay, well, first off,
just roll your 3 guards out there, play them 35 minutes a game. Like, I don't know what else to do.
First off, I didn't say I was going to run another big out there, but I did preface it by saying the 3 and the 4. It's not what I meant. But yes,
I mean, yeah, I think you could play like Mo and Yelovich without Moreno or Garrison, but then you're back to, are you going 3 guards? Are you going Trent Noah? So
yeah, I mean, I guess really the thing is just, I mean, what do we also consider Ortega? Like, I know we consider him a shooting guard, but he came from Oklahoma as more of a small forward.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, and I'm not sure. This is such a positionless team anyways.
Yeah.
Like, there is no – like, Denzel's not a point guard. Colin isn't for sure a shooting guard. We think he's better in that role. My biggest complaint I think I'm probably going to have is more of just the allocation of minutes. I think they need to be spread to people, and maybe like 3 or 4 more minutes for Colin Chandler, 3 to 4 more minutes for Jasper Johnson, 3 to 4 more minutes for, Andrea Yelovich, 3 to 4 more minutes for Mo Diabate. I think that's the better way to spread across those 16 minutes rather than just be like, oh, we got to give Trent 10 and see what else we can do with the rest of them.
I agree. And I don't know, like, if this happened a year ago or even, before SEC play, I'd probably think, like, I still think that's the most likely thing, is that they're just going to give those minutes to Trent. But like, I would.
You're doing this podcast by yourself if they are.
But like, I do think we're starting to see Pope change his philosophy. He's playing guys more and more. Like we're seeing some of that we didn't see last year and didn't see in the non-conference. So it's like, am I hopeful that that's kind of the route they take? Yeah. Do they maybe come out and try it for a game and try Trent and then realize like it's just not going to work? I think that's most likely. Like, I think there's going to be a game or two possibly where they try to play Trent Noah that 15, 16 minutes. And I think you're going to see pretty quick that like it's not going to work. I mean, Pope pulled him out fairly quick last night. Again, I don't know why he was checking in with 4 minutes, but to your point,
he got back in
back to back fouls, turnover, out, and like I hate to talk about it because like we're just obviously crushing on Tyler's favorite player, but like
we need to crush on Tyler too. So I mean, we can do both.
Like, there is some of that. I mean, the coaching staff had all this faith in Trent Noah. They gave him the keys to be pretty much a starter to start the year. And then it got to the point where like he was DNP. Like, so I don't see where in their minds they could think that's the solution. The other thing with like Hawthorne, like the red shirt's nice, but like there's probably going to be the 5-year rule. Like everybody around college basketball thinks that's coming regardless. But even if not, like if Hawthorne's really, I don't know, man, like if he's that good, like is he truly going to try to hang out in college for 4 years? I mean, who knows now, because guys are staying longer, but like the odds that he's at Kentucky for 4 years after this are very, very low. So like maybe it's in the kid's best interest to, take the full red shirt this year, but like in Kentucky's interest, I don't know what it matters to burn that red shirt, honestly, because like I said, it's very low. Either he's going to be good enough to potentially go to the NBA in 2 years, or most likely he's going to leave, because that's what kids in college basketball do.
Yeah, the only thing I would caution on that with is I still don't see that as like a Cam Williams switch in and out with Braden Hawthorne. And unless you've seen something in practice in the Craft Center that shows you that Braden can play that 4, because I don't see that right now at all.
I think of it as more of like the Trent Noah role, because like you said, like Trent's not playing the 4 either. So
yeah, but I mean, unless, and this might be just me coming from more of like the athlete side, unless you're planning on playing this kid 10, 15 minutes a game and actually having a role going forward, I don't think you can burn his red shirt this late.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, so if you're going to do it just to play him a couple minutes a game, then I think that's a pretty poor decision.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at. And I mean, this is a guy who just posted on his story maybe 4 hours ago that he's up to 191.6 pounds. Jake, I mean, that's running that out there at the 4 at any time. It's just it's not going to happen. And even running that at the 3 is going to get bullied a little bit. Some, I love what I think the potential is that Braden Hawthorne can bring you. I don't think it's this year. It's unfortunate because you're getting to a point now where I think you're really just running out of answers. And unless you dip your toe into what's in the G League, what can we, and this is one where you have built-in relationships with Dink Pate. He obviously was coached by Jason Hart at some point. Same agent as Brandon Garrison. Supposedly him and Jasper played together at some point in their careers as well. If that one's not going to happen, I just don't I don't know what the answer is. I think the only thing else you can do besides that is spread those minutes out and just, if there's a game plan where maybe Trent can give you 5 minutes, allow him to do that. But man, I'm even more down on Trent Noah this year than I was last year. And I think I was probably the lowest in the room last year on Trent Noah. Yeah. With all that being said, like, we're facing probably one of the worst teams in the conference in Ole Miss on Saturday. So if you're wanting to try something, Saturday against Ole Miss is probably the day to do it.
Yeah. And, Ole Miss, like you said, probably one of the worst teams in the conference. I still think they probably got one of the 4 best coaches in the conference. So,
Yeah.
like, Travis Perry revenge game also. Like, so,
Stop it.
I know.
Stop it.
I know. I know. I know.
I just want to, just so I can bring it up again, just in case anybody didn't hear it last time. Jacob Boyer said Jasper Johnston and Travis
Easy.
Perry were the same.
I
I
didn't
just want
say
to
they
bring it
were
up.
the same. I did not say they were the same. I think anybody with actual ears, I mean, I'm sure you at some point you'll clip the 30 seconds I said it and put it out with no context. I'm fully expecting to see it on the Instagram page here at some point. But that's not what I said. But yeah, you got to go win Saturday. So I don't know how much you can experiment because Saturday is a must win. And while Ole Miss isn't very good, I still think they're well coached. I mean, I know what's his name, Soares from Kansas hasn't lived up to the Chris Beard hype, and Chris Beard's pretty much thrown him under the bus and
multiple times.
as he probably should. I mean, calling him out for effort right there in the post game, but like
With him right next to him too. That was ruthless. I loved it.
But like it is a guy that is talented and has played a lot of college basketball and has the potential to go for 20. So I mean, it's not going to be like insane to say Ole Miss can obviously come in here and win this, even though Kentucky should win and will be a favorite. But it's tough, where January 22nd, we're talking about having to experiment because you're so thin, but unfortunately this is the hand you're dealt now, and you got to find a way to get those minutes somewhere. And I'm with you. There is no clear-cut easy answer. I mean, Dink's obviously, I think, the best answer talent-wise. But again, like, this is a guy that hasn't been in this system, has played completely different style of basketball in the G League, and you're going to try to throw him in and be a guy that's going to play 15 to 20 minutes for you. Like, I think that's a little tough.
Yeah. I mean, the whole situation's tough, so you're going to have to find something that works. And Jake, as somebody who was, I don't know if there was somebody as higher on what we had seen the past couple of games than yours truly.
Yeah.
Me. I sent you a text, what was that, Tuesday or Wednesday? Hey, we get this going right. And
I almost put it on Twitter.
Hey, and I still stand by it. I'll say it right now for all the
Just
big
go
blue
do
nation.
the ticket right now. What are we waiting for?
I said they come out on top against Texas, and Jaden Clayton's plays on Saturday. I was throwing a futures bet in for the Cats. You're going to get some great odds. Gives you something to cheer for. I like the way this team had started to play.
I need Big Blue Nation to hear what Cameron Johnston just said right there. To give him something to cheer for. You guys want to know who the real UK fan here is on this podcast? He needs money to support his happiness for the Cats. And it's not just about the joy of raising number 9 for him. It would only be joyful if he put a $10 bet on it.
So disrespectful. Everything you say to me is so disrespectful. But what I was saying was I was getting so high on this team and what they had started to find cohesively together. And if you added in that defensive threat, that before we forget, Jake, I do want to say that Malachi Moreno has become, over the past 4 games, I mean, he had 5 blocks in this game. So if you add another guy like that in Jaden Quaintance, if he is going to come back, which, Jake, I don't know how you feel about it. The knee swelling's now been over 2 weeks. Are you feeling any sort of way about that?
Man, I don't know. This one's tough, right? Like, I don't know. You kind of hear mixed things. Like, the coaching staff wants him to play. Quaintance probably wants to play. There's maybe some people around him that say don't play. Like, the Quaintance thing, I do think is a lot different than like the Shaden Sharp thing. This is a guy that tore his ACL less than a year ago. Like,
and has actually played.
Yeah, and he's played. Like, I don't know, man. I really don't. I think to improve his draft stock, he probably needs to play. Like, it's tough. I mean, we're not there. I don't know how bad his knee swelling truly is. It was kind of one of the things, I alluded to when we were talking before he even came back, and I said, like, I don't know how great he's going to be, just because you see it a lot. Like, it usually takes people, they can play the year after their ACL, but it usually takes them a full season to kind of get back to where they were and, like, fully trusting it. And then he comes out against St. John's and shows all those glimpses, and we pretty much, I think, just everybody kind of forgot that, like, this was a guy that was dealing with a major knee injury.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, if you made me put $5 on it one way or another, I'd probably bet that we don't see him again. But, like, it's not gonna, I think it's like 51-49%, like, one way or another. Like, I take it almost as close to 50-50 in my gut of if he's back or not.
Well, based on what you've seen with him so far this season, I know it's kind of crazy to say this in a vacuum, do you think it changes this team's win total, like, just for the regular season, all that much? Is this something that you think, like, having him is a game and a half bump, or is this something that you think this team's going to play to their performance levels, whether he's out there or not? Because we've seen two polar opposites. We've seen games where he's been a complete non-factor, and then you've seen St. John's where he looks like he should be a potential top 5 pick right there.
I think, and like the game, like Tennessee, you obviously won without him, but I think, like, that's the kind of game where he would have been huge, right? Because even though he's only 6'9", and you don't think about him as, like, this big bruiser, I mean, you saw it against St. John's. He can take those kind of guys and put them in hell and make their life miserable. So, maybe you draw a team like St. John's in the tournament or something, or you play Tennessee. I know we play them here in a few weeks, and then you play them again in the SEC tournament. Like, I think there could potentially be, like, a game where you're really desperate to need him. A game and a half, I don't know. But, like, I do think he could possibly be the difference one game or another. And who knows, maybe he comes back and you see more of that St. John's style offensively, and he's getting out and running and catching some lobs. But, I mean, it doesn't really fix your issue. I do think can play the 4, so like that, I think, makes it a little better. You can kind of use him in some of those situations, playing him with Yelovich. I think he could probably even play alongside Marino at times.
I'd love to see Yelovich and JQ together. We still have not been able to see it the entire season yet, and I'd still love to see it. I think that could potentially be your best 4 or 5 that you run out there, offensively and defensively. I mean, you get the defensive prowess of Jaden Quaintance. You get the ability to stretch the floor with Yelly. I hope I can see it at some point. I hope at some point this year I'm able to see it. And Jake, I wouldn't consider you a bad gambling man. I wouldn't consider you a good gambling man either. So you being right in that middle ground and saying that you would bet on JQ not playing, I'm going to take that as a little bit of a positive for myself, and the fact that I think
this is slander. I'm gonna have to sue Cats Talk Podcast for defamation after this.
Yeah, well, you can sue all $0 that they have made over the past 2 years.
Kentucky's plus 6,000, by the way. I was looking it up while we were talking. So a $10 bet would win you 600.
How about this, Jake? If JQ plays on Saturday, I'll lock it in. Still,
I might sprinkle $5 on it. See what happens.
I'll still ride with it. Jake, he's been at a lot of the Kentucky women's games. They play
That's the thing. Like, it doesn't seem like he hates being here.
If I see him, I will do my reporter duties, and I will ask.
That's where you got. Mo was coming back for Indiana.
That's what I'm saying. This is how we've been getting the inside scoop here at Cats Talk Podcast. It's been through the women's avenue. Yep. We get our way in there, and then guess what?
If you were truly dedicated to it, though, you would have been in Knoxville tonight.
I had to record this podcast with you.
We would have figured it out.
Yeah, I had to record this podcast with you, so there it was. Jake, let's look at the future of this Kentucky schedule, because we got to get some – we still got a lot of games to play in this schedule. It's not getting any easier. It's getting a lot tougher, matter of fact. Like, let's just look through this. We obviously got Ole Miss And then you want to talk about a week of basketball games. You go at Vanderbilt and then at Arkansas. And Jake, I don't know if you've been watching the old Pig Suey.
Yep.
Darius Acuff, man.
He's good.
Cal's finally got him a elite talent again. Now, granted, he's still got Malik Thomas coming off the bench. I'm not sure how much I agree with that, but he's got himself a team down there.
God forbid DJ, doesn't start. So,
Jake, I'll be there for that game. Anything you want me to tell Coach Cal? Anything you want me to tell him?
I'm gonna make you a prediction though, and this might be back to your point of me being a bad gambler, because I'm gonna say this. I think we go 4-1 over the next 5. I think the only loss is Vandy. I think we lose Vandy. We're going down there and winning on January 31st. We are going to Fayetteville, and we're paying that debt off from a year ago. I think we take care of business against Ole Miss at home. You play Oklahoma at home on a Wednesday night. That one, actually, I feel worse about that than the Arkansas and Tennessee game, just because
Oklahoma is the worst team in the conference.
That just kind of feels like a game where we get on here, the Thursday after, and we say, how the blank did we lose that game? But we're not going to. I think we rattle off some wins here. Beat Arkansas on the road, beat Oklahoma at home, take care of Tennessee at home, and then you're right back to tough stretches with Florida. Georgia's playing pretty well at Auburn, so we may be rolling into the SEC tournament on a little bit of a down streak, but I think we're about to stay hot for a little bit. And I understand it's a big if for me saying that they're going to go 4-1 here. I mean, 4-1 here, you're talking 8 of your last 9. At some point, you better hop on that plus 6,000 now, Cam, because if we hop on a 4-1 stretch here, that number's going down. Am I crazy, man, for saying this? I mean, you can tell me. I understand. It's a tough.
I'm going to say you're crazy for 4-1 over the next 5.
What do you think we do in this next 5?
That one, I'm going to say you're crazy. I'm going to say it's 3-2. I mean, I don't think you're.
We're not too far off.
I don't think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think it's more the confidence level that you had with the predicting the 4-1 might have been a little crazy.
Dude,
I think we obviously get this game against Ole Miss on Saturday.
Real quick, I just want to say, real quick, I told you.
Let me get through these 5.
Real quick. You said it was my turn. Skip. All right. Real quick, I just want to say, I told you if we beat Ole Miss on Saturday, theoretically on paper, we're probably not that much in a better spot. But you asked me to give a message to BBN, and I said if we won these next 2 at home, we have some time to kind of dream. I'm just getting a little out in front of that and taking Saturday as a win, and I'm starting to stack that dream. But after that 4-1 stretch, we could go 2-4 or whatever through the next 6. So,
I mean, if you started 8-3 in the conference after how we started, I think we'd all. I mean,
you could still finish at 10-8, even if you go 4-1 here.
We'd all run to sign up for that. But I mean, I think this win streak will increase to 6. So I'm there with you that they beat Ole Miss in Vandy.
I got them losing to Vandy. That's the one I got them losing.
I got them beating Vandy. Unfortunately, I even said it last year, and I hate to do it again this year because I'll be in attendance, and I don't want to see that smug look on John Calipari's face. I don't see us staying in front of Darius Acuff, and the way he facilitates the ball, I don't know if we have an answer for that unless they have just like a cold shooting night, or they get Acuff in foul trouble, or he tries to let DJ Wagner kind of get a lick back on Kentucky. Unless it's something like that, I don't see us beating Arkansas either.
I think that's going to be a Pope like we're going to fall behind 15 in the first half, and then something's just going to, a little magic in the air. So then, if you got them 3-2, you got them? I guess losing to Tennessee at home. Tennessee gets us back.
Yeah, see, I kind of just put 3 wins in there with Ole Miss, Oklahoma, and then I think they'll take one of the 2 between Vandy and Tennessee. Is kind of how I look at it. I think they'll take one of those 2. And honestly, the way we played Tennessee, We had a good game plan. I don't see Carey finishing 3 of 12 again from the floor.
What if JQ plays?
That's a big if, though. That's a huge if. If he
I'm
does,
just
then
saying.
if he does, then I'm all in. Jake, what did I just tell you? I had
What if
for this
it has
team to win the
nothing to
national championship.
what if it had nothing
Saturday.
What if it has nothing to do with Carey and how good he is? It's the mental mind games that Otega Owe plays with him, calling him a fat ass the entire day. I mean, this is why people listen to us. This is the kind of insight you just don't get. Like, you already called yourself a former athlete. I mean, my athletic career ended, at the YMCA and senior year of high school. So like, I'll admit it. There's some part of playing basketball is being mentally tough, and I think Otega calling him big boy all day. I mean, Carey could go 3 of 12 again.
Hey, I'm here for it, man. You're trying to paint me out as a villain, but either way, okay. So let's say they go through that. You have them going 4-1. They still got a tough.
That's what I'm saying. They could go 4-1 and then go 2-4 on their next 6 and still finish, 10-8 in the conference. Because
I think that next 4 is honestly the most important 4 of the season: the Florida, Georgia, Auburn, and South Carolina. Because I think bare minimum you got to go 2-2 in that set. You're obviously on the road against Florida. I don't think this Auburn team's very good.
No, but
I think
it is there.
I think Tahad Pettiford's really good. I think if we can slow him down, a win's there. South Carolina's obviously not very good. Georgia's been a lot better, and I worry about Samto Cyril because you want to talk about a unit. Jake, this man is yoked.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if I see this guy, I'm turning around in the hall and I'm going the other way just to make sure I don't get shoved in a locker like Pete Nocta does to Vince Marrow. Little shot there, shoving. Yeah. But I think that's almost a bigger stretch because I think you can afford to go 3-2 in these next 5.
I agree.
I think that bigger stretch is going to be that Florida, Georgia, Auburn, South Carolina stretch right there.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Like I said, I can see them going 4-1 and then 2-4 after that, or I think probably 3-3 would be the most likely, and like you're still finishing with best case 11 SEC wins. But from where we kind of thought we'd be this stretch, the SEC, again, we've talked about it. There's not the elite level teams like, in Auburn and Alabama that are really, really good like they were a year ago. But I do think this league is still really deep. I mean, we talked about how good Arkansas has played lately. Vandy's obviously sliding a little bit, but they're still really good. Got some good wins.
Can I tell you something, Jake?
Georgia's good.
I think this is going to be the same thing we saw with Vandy last year.
Florida's playing really good.
Beat up on non-conference, and then once you get into the conference play, everything.
They did beat Bama. They
did, but since then they also haven't done much either. I think
they played a tough stretch. I mean, Texas is the bad loss, but I mean, I just talked about them. Like Florida is finally getting to the potential I think a lot of people saw with them. I mean, they're playing, I think, as well as anybody in the country, maybe outside of Arizona right now.
Well, Jake, we have 11 games left in the conference schedule. What do you think the number is? What is your number? What if you had to predict what they're going for the rest of these 11 conference games? What do you think it is? Keep in mind you have them starting 4-1.
I know.
Next 5. So what do you got? Because even though with you starting 4-1, I think I might be higher on this team's total through the rest of the season than you do.
I'm gonna say it, but like I don't really feel good about it. As hyped up as I was about the 4-1, like we're still gonna probably lose again. I mentioned that Oklahoma game, or it probably be Georgia a little later. Like there's gonna be a home game where we come in and we're 6-point to 10-point favorite, and we find a way to lose it just because it just seems like that's what we do. Optimistically, I'm gonna say 7-4. and that's me. I understand I got my blue glasses on right now, and
That's where I'm at, and that's with a 3-2 start.
But
Granted, this is also with the caveat of me thinking
6-5. You hand me the paper. I'm signing right now.
Yeah, this is also coming with the caveat that I really don't think Vanderbilt is that good. Yeah. I really don't.
I mean, we still got to go there. They weren't that good last year. We lost down there.
Yeah,
I don't know what happens in it. It's something about that stupid.
We also got ran off the floor at Ole Miss too. So
that's true. I don't foresee that happening this year.
Yeah, but Jake, I mean, we're all of this saying and all of these like bad things that have kept happening. Jaland Lowe out for the season. Cam Williams out for the season. Jaden Quaintance isn't fully back yet. All of these things still being said, we're 4-2 in the conference, and you and I are over here painting a picture of maybe going 7-4 the final 11, 6-5 maybe the final 11, even 5-6. I think you're safely into the tournament.
Yeah.
So I mean,
5-6 puts you at what? 7-13 or 7-13 on the year.
This guy doing live math.
No, I was trying to think of how many wins and losses we have. I couldn't think of the number. We're 12-6, so yeah. But I don't know, man. I said before, I think you win 18 regular season games, I think you're firmly in. 17, you're probably in, but you're probably got to win a couple games in Nashville.
Yep. So. Well, Jake, I want to win games in Nashville regardless.
No, I agree. It's been too long.
It's been way too long, man. I'm tired of being.
I'm putting you on the spot. Do we play Saturday in Nashville? Saturday morning, are we preparing for a game that afternoon? Or are we watching 4 other teams?
We are watching, but we also feel better about this team than we have at any point in the season.
So there it is again for,
I said we feel good. It's better than we did about
Podcast Nation. There it is once again. Cam Johnston, Mr. Negativity. And I think that's the perfect place just to wrap up the episode.
I had this team going 7-4 the last 11 of conference.
I got them going 4-1 here in the next 5.
And going what for the last 11?
I'm with you, but
you
didn't ask me if this team's playing on Saturday in the SEC tournament.
I'm not going to ask you.
Exactly.
Nobody cares.
Exactly. All right, wrap it up. Let's get out of here.
All right, Big Blue Nation. The game has actually been moved up because of the snowstorm. Jake, you mentioned you went to Kroger today and you were fighting. I think you said you got in a fight with an older lady. So you took the last loaf of bread out of her basket?
No, I did go, and I'm like, I'm going to run there on lunch real quick, buy the wife flowers for her birthday. I'm going to make it super easy, super quick, in and out. There was no in and out. It took me 10 minutes to find a place to park. I mean, it's like freaking Armageddon. I have 0 groceries in my house. Still haven't been. Got plans tomorrow. Not going to go tomorrow. Saturday morning, I'm waking up, rolling the dice, heading to Kroger, taking whatever they have left. I mean, I don't need the essentials. Hopefully, I know there's still plenty of beer in Kroger, and then hopefully I can buy about 10 frozen pizzas. And, we'll be good. We'll be living large in the Poyer's house.
Jake, well, if any of that doesn't work out, I do know a guy who needs to be on the road working DoorDash on Saturday. Yeah. So you could call DoorDash. I know there will at least be one Prius out running the towns. So if
he'll be stuck right outside St. Catherine's there in Fort Thomas. There's 12 inches of snow. My Prius isn't built for this.
All right, Big Blue Nation. Well, make sure you guys stay safe in this winter storm that we got coming. Obviously, the games
are we not giving score predictions? What are we doing here?
You said to wrap it up. You got me
wrap it up, man. All right, I'll go ahead and say my score prediction.
Let's hear it. You already ruined my outro.
Cats win. It's a little bit of an ugly game because that's how Chris Beard likes to play it. I'll go Cats 78-68. We still win pretty comfortably.
I'm going to say it's a little higher scoring. I think for whatever reason, these Cats get up for these early games, and they score in these early games.
That is true. Last year, 11 a.m. was Florida, right?
I think it was the only. That was the only, wasn't it?
No, last year it was the only time we've ever played an 11 a.m. game, and
we scored 106.
Yeah, Rupp was rocking. So, hey, bring that energy on Saturday, Rupp.
Yep. So I'm going to go 85 Cats. Let's go 76 Ole Miss. And I think you're going to have about, I'm going to say 8 points from Travis Perry.
Yeah,
What's
I was going
your
to say
Travis Perry prediction?
I didn't have an exact point prediction, but I think he's going to knock down a couple big threes at some point that'll kind of keep him lingering around.
Yeah, well, way to take the easy way out by just saying he's going to hit a couple.
All right, fine. 10. Not 10 threes, 10 points.
He's going to hit 10 threes? Phew. I can't wait I'm telling you, him and Jasper are going to get matched up one-on-one. And the only thing that's going to be happening in my brain is how you said that they were the same player.
What will be your reaction? Let's say Travis goes out and scores 15 and we lose. What does Cam Johnston come onto the podcast and say?
I come out and say, remember how I said 7-4, Big Blue Nation? I meant 4-7. I said the words wrong there.
You're like, I'm not even coming out. I'm sending Tyler to do that episode.
Yeah, we're sending in the reserves for that episode if we lose to Ole Miss on Saturday. But
only if Travis has 15 plus.
That is true because he's shooting like 36% from the field. So if he does, he's going to have to be shooting a lot. So, but Jake, obviously, keep the family safe. We've got a game on Saturday morning. I know you're going to be up rolling straight out of bed watching this game.
I'm going to have to go fight off all the demons at Kroger first.
Yep. Well,
my whole day just got moved up an hour. Thanks a lot, weather.
Thanks a lot, Snowstorm.
After I'm going out tomorrow night, this is going to be brutal.
Well, let's hope the Cats can put a good spin on the rest of your weekend by getting a nice win over Ole Miss. Here at the Cats Talk Podcast, we'll have you covered. Make sure to follow us on X, on Instagram, on TikTok, wherever you get your social media, we're there. And make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Jake, Cats got a win in the snow.
Let's go.
11 a.m. game. Go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue.